Hi, I'm Christy Waldrop with Jatai International, and today we're going to do a short-haired man's haircut. Richard here has great longer men's hair. However, he wants it to be more tailored and less wild, I guess you could say. So we're going to go in and do a graduated short haircut that can also be used on any woman as well. First and foremost, we're going to work from the center of the occipital bone down. Using the razor, we're going to go in with a very tight wrist and move at an angle. Diagonal angles are easier to cut the hair with, and you won't see as many imperfections in the cut. It's going to allow for movement as well. The width of your subsection is going to depend on how thick his hair is and how fast you want to go. The whole time I'm looking at it, making sure that it's the length that I want it to be. If I see any longer areas, I'll do what I call picking and pulling. Turn your head slightly, right there. Taking off about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. Graduating the hair means you're cutting down as opposed to cutting up, which is more of a layering technique. You'll hear the razor in Richard's hair because his hair tends to be a little bit on, it of course is gray, it has a thicker density or thicker circumference of the hair. Therefore, you sometimes hear the razor going through this hair type. His hair is very wet with a product we call Blade Glide. It has a pharmaceutical grade silicone in it, so what it helps to do is keeps the razor going smoothly through the hair. We'll never use a razor on dry hair because that rips and tears the hair shaft, and it's not comfortable for the client either. A graduated haircut goes with the actual texture, the roundness of the head. Back behind his ears, we're going to pick and pull through here and slowly but surely remove this length. He's in the hair industry also, so he can get away with a little bit of a less precise cut. There's always perfection and imperfection, that's what I like to say. And we're all imperfect, aren't we, Richard?
Of course.
Of course. Once again, picking and pulling. It's very thick through here, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to remove some weight. It's a nice quick method of cutting hair. I'm working from the recession of the hair down, this bend right here. We're going to work on the top in the next section of this cut. Don't want our segments to be too long. Once again, cutting down, kind of a pick and pull type motion. It's very visual. We get to see where the hair is cutting and or isn't cutting. Okay, turn for me, Richard. Y'all see, you can see there's a lot of great movement. I want it a little bit shorter around the ear. So we're going to remove some of that length. A little bit more. Okay, turn for me slightly. Right there. I always like to palm the razor away from the head so that I don't have to worry about getting any extra texture or shortness in the hair. All right, spin for me. You can see the movement slightly back this way, right there. Going back to the same graduated movements that we had a few minutes ago with the original style. My palm was up. Now going this way, we're going to go palm down. Of course, you know, being behind the chair, we would be standing in front of the hair at all times. However, you need to see what I'm doing. Therefore, I'm standing on this side. He likes to walk sideways. Just kidding. No, he doesn't. So we go through, pick and pull, get the graduated, make sure it's even from this side over to this side. Turn slightly for me this way. Thank you. We're really looking forward to this year's show season. We like to do men's cutting as well as long and short-haired women's cutting that's user-friendly behind the chair, not just showing a specific collection that you may never use as a daily stylist. Hopefully y'all will go to jatai.net and check out our upcoming website. We're slowly but surely developing it to make it the perfect site for you to see any kind of razor cutting at any time with our friends of Jatai. Once again, still graduating. I shake it a lot to make sure we see the movement within the style. It's much shorter than it was. You can continue to move like you were, Richard. Picking and pulling through this length because I don't want it to be perfect. Once again, perfection and imperfection. Around the back of the ear. If you want it more tailored, you're going to go in and pick and pull. The nape and body razor, which we'll use in the third segment of this haircut, will clean up his neckline beautifully without having the obnoxious sound of the trimmers. And it will grow out more gracefully and smoother because it cuts the hair perfectly. This side of Richard's hair likes to grow straight out, so I have to be really careful and make sure it's not too short. Otherwise, we'll be seeing long forget-you places for a while. Graduated. It's a little longer on this side from his previous haircut that one of his friends did. Nice part is it's already a scissor over comb haircut, so he has a nice texture to it. It's behaving nicely. Before I ever got my hands on it, we're not correcting a clipper cut that made his hair a little more wiry. I'm going to remove this length here. And for the most part, we are finished with the first segment, the back and sides of this haircut. Stay tuned for the next segment. We're going to be working on the top area of his hair. Thanks.